الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم إني أسألك هدى وتقى وغنى وعفاف. اللهم إني أسألك خيرا في الدنيا والآخرة، واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ثم أما بعد. This morning, inshaAllah ta'ala, we want to briefly take the Surah Al-Kawthar, and Surah Al-Ma'un, as we're continuing with the Tafseer of the portion of the last juz of Quran from Zilzala to Surah Al-Nas. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتاب الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. The first surah, Surah Ma'un, تقدم المعنى البسملة. And we mentioned already many times the meaning of the statement Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala: أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين. The ulama, they mentioned this, the difference between Torah and when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the Quran, Alam Tara, or Alam Mada Barakallahu Fikum, Ra'eta, like this. They have different meanings. When Allah is talking to the Prophet specifically, and it also includes the rest of the Ummah. As the Khatab to the Prophet ﷺ is not just for him, but is for those who the Prophet ﷺ was sent to, which is Thaqalain, the jinn and the ants, the two species of creation, the human being and the jinn. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ, many of the ulama mention this takes the meaning, do you not see or do you not know? And not that just the issue of Ara'ayta, meaning by the eyes, but rather the meaning, do you not know? أَوَلَمْ تَعْلَمْ أَوَلَمْ تَرَى يعني كذا وكذا يشمل يعني علم بهذا أو علم بكذا. It means also, or you're not aware of this. Do you not know this? As we say, for example, do you see that thing that happened in Egypt, for example? But we're not in Egypt. We're talking about, did we hear about it on the news? Did we see it on the internet like this? So Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is mentioning this to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ. يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ يعني is a khastatul kufr. It is a characteristic of disbelief, that you reject the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here, deen, as we mentioned, tafsir of Surah Al-Fatiha, يُطْلَقْ عَلَى الْجَزَاء ويطلق على بارك الله فيكم الطريقة. So when Tabarak wa Ta'ala mentions deen, sometimes deen means the reward that the person would get. As Allah says, Maliki yawm ad-deen. Here, deen bi ma'na jaza. The Lord or the King, the owner that will give out the reward for good and bad on the day of recompense. Other times, deen is meant to be the way of a person's life. كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن أحب دين إلى الله الحنفية samha. Or كما قال, that the most beloved way, the most beloved deen, meaning way of worship and belief and conviction, devotion to Allah, is that of Ibrahim, that of purity and worship to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, Hanafiya, meaning Hunafa, meaning ماذا صافيا من الكفر والشرك والمعاصي, being free from any type of sin, moreover that which is disbelief and action and creed, or that which is disbelief and creed and action that includes the issue of shirk. So here, when Tabarak wa Ta'ala has talked to the Prophet ﷺ about this issue of the one who denies the deen of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, or acts as if there will be no Yawmul Qiyamah, or the one who does not do the actions that would earn him Jaza al-Husna, good reward on the Day of Judgment. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after he mentioned يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمِ, al-yatim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this a religion of being kind to the weak, or those who are less fortunate, or those that are, as we say, at a disadvantage. And everyone would agree this is the case of the yatim. As Tabarak wa Ta'ala mentioned them as it relates to marriage, the yatama, that they are a choice of marriage. Tabarak wa Ta'ala mentioned them as it relates to not taking advantage of their wealth. They are mentioned in that regard. And here, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala is talking about them again. Now, those who do not give the rights, those who do not honor, those who do not look after the yatim. And there's a difference between yatim and the customary life as opposed to the religion. And the customary life, they just simply say the person who's missing a parent, a person whose parent has died, a person who has been adopted. They mention all of this under yatim, orphan. But in the deen of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the one who loses a parent or both parents, qabl al-bulugh fahuwa yatim. The one who loses one or both parents before he or she attains puberty, then this is yatim. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that he will be like them, rather he will be alongside of them, they will be together in the hereafter, and that he's responsible for them in this life. And then he illustrated with his two fingers crossing the one finger, that's the middle finger, over the index finger, and he said like this: me and the orphan will be together in the Jannah like this, showing that he's responsible for them, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَىٰ طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. نعم, وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَىٰ طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. And they don't feed those who are needy. How much food do we waste? Wallahi, we waste a lot of food. That same food that we waste as a whole creation on earth, meaning if we were to go around the earth and get all of the food that's wasted on earth, subhanallah, imagine the amount of food. Yet we don't find the time or the need or the resources to feed the needy. Yes, giving someone a sandwich, buying someone a meal, this is feeding the needy. But here we're talking about as a deen, as a custom, as a way of civilization. Normally the needy, they are annoying. Get away from me, you bum. What do you want? This is how the people treat those who are the needy. And here Tabarak wa Ta'ala firstly started by talking about the orphans. Now he's talking about those who are the masakin. Sometimes the word miskin, barakallahu fikum, it's used to show a person may be missing the mark mentally, or as it relates to subject matter, that a person can be miskin fi deen, meaning he's poor in the issue of this religiously, or he doesn't have the best understanding of that. Here, Tabarak wa Ta'ala is not talking about in that regard, rather he's talking about resources. فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين. The ulama, they mention time and time again that this word wail, as Allah says this in the beginning of Surah Al-Humazah. Tabarak wa Ta'ala mentioned this in Surah Al-Mudaththir. فويل لل ماذا يكذبون بالدين. Huna, in this surah, using wail again. Those who deny the day of judgment, and now those who are from those who or the musallin. Wail to those who have humps or lumps, as the ulama, they mention humps, insulting the person with action, or lumps, insulting the person with the tongue. Some of them also say humps, meaning behind their back, كما في الغيب غيوب, and others say lumps to their face. Like we say, I'm going to tell him, you wait till I see him. كل هذا تحت الويل. All of this is under the subject matter of wail. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about musallin. So this is an indication that the hellfire is just not for the Jews and the Christians. As many Muslims think, I'm a Muslim, khalas, ala tu'la jannah. But a Muslim can end up in the fire, whether it be for a long, extended period of time or forever, depending upon that which he or she dies upon. We ask Allah to save us from the fire. Ameen. As Abdullah ibn Abbas, he mentioned the whale, Wadi fi Jahannam. That the whale is the name of a valley in the Jahannam. For wailul lil musallin. The ulama, they mention فرق بين المصلين والذين يؤدي إلى إقامة الصلاة. It is the difference between السماء والأرض والفرق بين الليل والنهار. It is the difference between the heavens and the earth, the difference between night and day. And that is, if a person is praying, خلاص هذا مصلين. لكن الإقامة وماذا الحسن في الصلاة يتضمن شروط. It includes the conditions before salah. It also includes arkan, that which is the main parts of the salat, that which without it, the salat will not be existing. It also includes al-wajibat, the things that are obligation on you in the salat. وَهَكَذَا بَارَكَ اللَّهُ فِيكُمْ الْمُسْتَحَبَّاتِ, the things that are recommended in the salat, things that are allowed in the salat. وَهَكَذَا بَارَكَ اللَّهُ فِيكُمْ أَدَابُ الصَّلَاةِ, the etiquettes of the salat. And all of these things make the difference between al-musallin وَالَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the generality of the salat, the musallin. Then Allah, He goes on and He says, الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. يعني الساهون هنا يعني أحيان وقصلة الطبيعة. Sometimes this sahu, or that which is referred to not feeling so like doing it, or being tired outwardly or inwardly, this is a natural thing. If a person becomes mutab, exhausted, or a person laysa lahu qudra an yakuma fi salat, he doesn't have the ability to stand, or aw shakhsun ajizun an hada aw hada, a person is unable. قد يؤدي إلى ماذا كسالى. It could amount to or lead to a person not wanting to do. لكن الكسالى هنا بمعنى أولا القلب. كسالى قلبية. The first perspective of laziness here is talking about in the heart. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned, which is in the Sahih of both Bukhari and Muslim, "Man qama Ramadana imanan wa ihtisaban." Naam. Whoever stands in Ramadan praying. Whoever stands in Ramadan praying, firstly imanan, believing that it's part of the deen of Allah, believing that it's part of the aqidatul muslimin, the belief or that which is tied to the heart of the Muslim, believing that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala yuhibbu wa yarda, that Allah loves it and He's pleased with it, believing that imma huwa wajib or imma huwa mustahab, that is either compulsory on you or recommended. Kullu hadha imanan. Thumma wahtisaban, meaning the person after that, he's seeking the hisab, he's seeking the ajr, meaning he wants to do it. So here the Prophet mentioned these two conditions, imanan wahtisaban, the iman and the doing it with ikhlas to receive the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned أثقل الصلاة ماذا على المنافقين الصبح والعشاء. The most difficult salah on the one who is from the hypocrites, the munafiqeen, is the morning prayer and the night prayer. وبين الله تبارك وتعالى يقامون ماذا كسالى يراؤون الناس ولا يذكرون الله إلا قليلا. That they only stand to be seen of men, and that they are like this in all of their salah. So the kusala here is talking about firstly in the heart, not doing it to get the reward from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, but to not be harassed by the people, or to seem in front of the people, mashallah alayhi. Look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He blessed him. He's a person who always mixed the jama'ah. Or this person, mashallah, he doesn't have in him qasat al-nifaq, that which is a characteristic of not wanting to pray for Allah Azza wa Jall's reward. Then after Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He mentioned فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ, talking about the one who just prays, but he doesn't give the salat his due right, he doesn't give the salat his attention, he doesn't give the salat that which is the prerequisites or that which could be understood as the pillars and those other things. فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ وَيَمْنَعُونَ مَاذَا الْمَاعُونَ. The ulama, they mention al-ma'un, the small deeds, meaning it's something that doesn't take a lot, but the ajr could be a lot. And we know the Prophet he mentioned this لما مر يعني بقبرين, when he passed by two graves, and he said that this person in the grave, these two, they are being punished. So right away, those Sahaba with him, they want to know what is the reason behind this punishment. So he said they are being punished for something, and he used the word khabir. But he said ma huwa khabir, meaning it was not something that required a whole lot. It wasn't something that was taxing. But he said that it was kabir, meaning kabir in the law, or they say kabir in the nas. And sometimes this is the reality. We take something, we treat it as minute. Oh, that's a small thing. But in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, laysa bi yani shay'in saghir, bal huwa kabir in Allah. But in the sight of Allah, as it relates to the religion, as it relates to the punishment, it's big with Allah. And here, wallahi, this is the ma'un. Small things you overlook that you can do. Things that will make a person feel nice inside. Things that will give a person encouragement. Things that will help with the self-esteem and the iman of a person. Wallahi, we walk over every day. We walk over every day. We ignore every day. And this is one of the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned to the Prophet as all of these are characteristics of the days of Jahiliyyah. All of these are characteristics of those who Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala threatens with the punishment. Wallahu musta'an. ثم بعد ذلك الله سبحانه وتعالى بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر إن أعطيناك الكوثر. هنا بارك الله فيكم العلماء يقولون الكوثر هو المعنى أوصى عند العلماء من الكوثر، هو أوصى من لفظه بنفسه, has a lot of different meanings and it's very broad. ومنهم يقولون الكوثر يعني كثر الخيرات, that which is abundance of good. والكوثر يعني بارك الله فيكم النعام ومنن من الله تبارك وتعالى. Kawthar, that which Allah has given you of many gifts, that which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed on you. From example of this kawthar, they mentioned the hawd that the Prophet will have on the Day of Judgment, that the people will drink from. Yusamaha kawthar, because of the many benefits that's in that hawd, drinking from that fountain. Also, al-kawthar bima'na alladhi ja'a bihi alayhi salatu wassalam mimma anzala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alayhi. Also, they mention kawthar meaning the whole of the religion, everything that the Prophet received from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he brought to the ummah. Because all of this is inclusive in the khairat, the good, many goods. All of this is inclusive in that which is indicative of tawfiq min Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, that which is success and that which is the objective from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَكَوْتَ كَذَلِكَ يُشْمَلْ الإسلام ويشمل الكتاب والسنة يشمل ماذا المصلحة لجميع يعني أمصار وفي جميل يعني بارك الله فيكم أوقات. It also includes the good and the rectification for every place and every time. إِنَّ أَعْطَيْنَاكَ الْكَوْثَرَ. Now, وَهَكَذَا الْكَوْثَرَ يعني من أسماء بارك الله فيكم and how from the names of river that Allah tabarak wa ta'ala has described and the Prophet has mentioned as well. وبين الإمام ابن كثير في تفسير هذه الآية أن من المعنى الكوثر الحوض. And Imam Ibn Kathir also mentioned again from the names or the meanings of Kawthar is talking about as well the fountain that the Prophet ﷺ will have on the Day of Judgment. That which the people will come to drink from on that day. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will command the angels to push them back. And they will have athar al-sujood, wa athar al-yani ma'da tahara min al-wudu. They will have different signs that you will know these are from the people of the ummah of the Prophet ﷺ. They are from the Muslimun. They are from those who used to make sajda. They are those who used to wash in order to purify themselves for the salah. So the Prophet ﷺ will say, Ya Rab, ummati, ummati, ummati. Oh my Lord, these are from my people. They're from my nation and the Muslims. Then Tabarak wa Ta'ala will say to him, وَلَا تَدْرِ مَا أَحْدَثُ بَعْدِكَ. وفي رواية ولا تدري ماذا ما بدلوا بعدك. You don't know what they made, you don't know what they invented of the religion after you die. They came with stuff وأضيفوا إلى دين الله سبحانه وتعالى وما هو من دين الله من شيء. But they brought things that were in the name of religion, had nothing to do with the religion. They brought things that وَيَكُلُّونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذَبْ وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. They attribute to Allah and they know that it's not from the book of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, but they invented these lies upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They attributed things to the book, or they brought things from the book, يَحَرِفُونَ كَلِمَ عَنْ مَوَاضِعِ, but they altered the meaning like the Yahud. They are from the people that substituted what you brought, what I gave you, Muhammad, with something else. Therefore, Tabarak wa Ta'ala command the angels, push them away. They will not be privileged to drink from the kawthar, the hold on the Day of Judgment. And then the Prophet ﷺ will become angry in the hadith of Bukhari and others, and he will say, get them away from me, get them away from me, get them away from me. Wallahu musta'an. فَصَلِّ رَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ Some of the ulama mentioned that this is in reference to the day of the Duhiyya, the day of Eid al-Kibir, Eid al-Hajj, the day of slaughtering and then praying, Yawm al-Eid. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. And this is an indication that the person must make the salah, then do his slaughtering on the day. Now, the opposite of Eid al-Fitr, you do the charity, you do the sadaqah before you pray in order to get credit for fitrah, udhiyah, you pray, then you do the issue of the slaughter, the issue of that which is from the issue of purifying the wealth. Inna shani'aka huwa al-abtar. Now, and the one that is deprived from the good of the religion, the one that is at war with Allah and His Messenger, then he himself has been deprived from all good. كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما يريد الله به خيرا يفقهه في الدين. Wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants and intends for them good, He allows them to understand from the religion. That which they have of knowledge, on any level, they understand it with the proper understanding. And Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he said, al-mantuq, يعني أي الظاهر الذي قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He intends for them any good, He will give them the understanding, the proper etiquette, and the proper execution of the deen. Then Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah, he said, وَمَفْهُومٌ مَنْ لَمْ يُرِدِ اللَّهِ بِهِ خَيْرًا لَمْ يَفَقَّهُ فِي الدِّينِ. And the opposite is to be understood. Whoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not intend for them good, then He would not allow them, He will not give them the understanding of the deen. هذا هو يعني إن شانئك هو الأبتر الخسران المبين, the one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deprives from the knowledge of the religion along with the action. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى الكوثر يوم القيامة ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يثبتنا في الدنيا والآخرة ونسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى التوفيق والصداع إنه على كل شيء قدير. We ask Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to give us the Kawthar. We ask Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to give us help and to give us mercy and to give us that which is a good outcome in this life and hereafter. فقولي قولي هذا واستغفر لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. This is a brief translation and explanation of Surah Al-Ma'un al-Kawthar. نسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يخلصنا في كل قول العمل إنه سميع الدعاء. Ask Allah to purify us and to accept from our actions, to make us sincere in all of them and our statements. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Any questions, comments, or corrections?
الحكم في صيام 6 شوال وشعبان، ما الحكم بها؟
يعني بارك الله فيكم صيام 6 بارك الله فيكم أيام من الشوال سنة مستحب بارك الله فيكم كما جاء عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ثابتا. Fasting the 6 days of Shawwal, meaning after Ramadan, you fast 6 days either together or separately in the month of Shawwal. It is authentically reported of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. أما الصيام منتصف شعبان فهذا ليس له أصل في الدين. To fast the 15th of Sha'ban, then there is no authentic narration for this. There's a narration, وَبَارَكَ فِيكُمْ, where they attribute and they said that the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنِّي أَحَبَّ أَعْمَالَ اللَّهِ خَمْسَةَ عَشْرَ شَعْبَانَ, on this for Sha'ban. The most beloved actions to Allah, those that are done in the 15th of Sha'ban. فَمَاذَا فَقَامَ فِي اللَّيْلِ وَصُومَ فِي النَّهَارِ, therefore pray in the 15th night and fast the 15th day. This hadith, the ulama, some of them who collected it, like Imam Abi Dawood, said, أَنَّ هَذَا حَدِيثٌ يعني لا أصل له. It has no verification in the religion, has no trace back to the Prophet. It is not something that can be used as evidence. Although they collected it to show that it was circulated, it is not used as evidence because you have many people in the chain of narration that makes it discredited, such as someone who's known to be a liar who transmitted it, or another person, he cannot be verified. They call him Majhul Ayn. He said he lived in Durham, he was here for 20 years, he was the Ibad Rahman, he used to sit with Sheikh so-and-so and Imam so-and-so, and you go and investigate the whole of those 20 years, and there's no notice, record of a person described by him by the name of such, then this is called Majhul Ayn. Somebody should know of him. This is an example. وَهَكَذَا a person known to be a liar, whether he himself makes up the lies or he's involved in purposely transmitting the lies, then those two characteristics will make a hadith la asl lahu fi din. It cannot be used in the religion. Also, la asl lahu fi din, there's nothing in the religion that can be used as a basis from this thing. This statement, la asl lahu din, means none of the Sahaba did it, and it was never known to be a practice from the Prophet. This is the meaning of la asl lahu fi din. So even though you have the narration where they say the Prophet ﷺ said the best deeds and the sight of Allah, the most beloved deeds to Allah, those who done the 15th of Sha'ban, so pray in the night of it and fast in the day of it. This hadith is fabricated from the Prophet ﷺ, therefore it is not to be used. You also have the narration that some of the ulama say is authentic, where Al-Tabarak wa Ta'ala takes back all of the deeds on the 15th of Ramadan. So the Prophet said, therefore I love to be in ibadah. Allah forgives the deeds of all of those except the munafiqeen and the mushrikeen. Imam al-Albani rahimahullah ta'ala is from those ulama that said this hadith is authentic, from the scholars of hadith of our time. But many oppose them and say al-Albani was muhaddith of this time, scholar of hadith, but just as any other case, those who are greater than him, he's not a person who's infallible. He did make some mistakes in his judgment or in his check in the hadith, and they say this is one of them. That this hadith is now authentically reported on the Prophet ﷺ. So there's a discrepancy with if the days, the 15th of Sha'ban, if the deeds, are raised up on the 15th. So they use this hadith, I need to say, if this is the case, deeds are going to be raised up, like on Monday and Thursday. The Prophet wanted to be doing an act of worship, fasting, so he would fast voluntarily. Then this is an encouragement to do deeds on the 15th of Sha'ban, whether it be the night or the day. But you don't have any agreements across the board that this is authentic hadith. And even if it is, it doesn't really show that you can single out the 15th of Sha'ban for a particular worship. And lastly, you also have, Barakallahu Fikum, that which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam he mentioned. Lastly, you have Barakallahu Fikum, the hadith of Aisha where she mentioned the Prophet sallam did not complete fasting in any month other than Ramadan, and outside of that he didn't fast more in a month outside of Ramadan than Sha'ban. Then the ulama explained this means that he fasts most of Sha'ban, and that he didn't wait till the 15th and say, okay, let me do something because this is virtuous time, the 15th. Rather, he was doing it from the beginning of Sha'ban, which would include if the 15th come, then of course you fast on that day if you're fasting the whole of Sha'ban or most of Sha'ban. But for a person who's not doing anything in Sha'ban, the 15th comes, ala tul, he's going to stand and pray, he's going to fast that day because the 15th, then we understand this not to be correct, and we don't have any narration, not a single one that's authentic that the Sahaba or the Tabi'een did something on the 15th of Sha'ban. وَهَكَذَا يعني بارك الله فيكم 27 من الرجب. The same thing, the 27th of Rajab. Most of the hadith in this category about the issue of the celebration of the Isra and Mi'raj and the homage to this, most of it, all of the scholars say most of these hadith are very, very unreliable. That we don't even know if this event took place on the 27th of Rajab. How about now we're going to make it official that we do this action on this day and on this night like this. وَهَكَذَا يعني مولد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the birthday of the Prophet, كذلك, is understood Rabi al-Awwal. It's understood he was born Yom Ithnain. But however, which Monday, which Yom Ithnain? We don't know. And this is a mercy from the Prophet ﷺ to the Ummah. It's a mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us that it should keep us from arguing, debating, and establishing stuff that in the end, وَهُوَ رَدٌّ, it will be rejected in the end. But as the ulama, they mention istihsan لا يدل على شيء. Seeking to do a good deed doesn't benefit anything. It's not an evidence of anything. Rather, you have to have good intention and mutaba'ah, follow the Messenger sallallahu as Allah said, وَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ قَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. هكذا now that we take from the Messenger that he has the best character. فَلَوْلَا مِنْ هَذَا وَكُلُّ إِنسَانٍ عَلَى مَا يَشَاءُ. If not for that, then everyone can pick and choose what he wants. كما سابقة, like the Yahud and the Nasara. نسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يحيي سنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم على وجه الأرض. ونسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يحافظ على كتابه وعلى سنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. والله سبحانه وتعالى هو الموفق. We ask Allah تبارك وتعالى to preserve and spread the sunnah of the Prophet, to preserve his book on the face of the earth, along with the sunnah of his Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma musta'an.
Some people fasting 13, 14, 15.
Naam, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, this question has been asked to the people of knowledge of the past and the present, meaning of the past, those before, and in our time. They said if a person عادته أنه من الصائمين خارج شعبان وداخل فيها فلا بأس بذلك. If the person is a person who fasts outside of Sha'ban and in Sha'ban, then this is his regular. For example, his name was Khamis. If a person fasting Monday and Thursday, it's likely that he may run into one of those days being on the 15th. So is this inclusive of innovation? Is this inclusive of he shouldn't single out the 15th? Yes, he shouldn't single out the 15th. He shouldn't single out fasting on this particular day. But rather he's singling out the Ithnain wa Khamis. And if it happens to fall and correspond with the 15th, then this is clearly not an intention to fast solely on the 15th. وَهَكَذَا إِذَا كَانَ أَيَّامُ بَيْضٍ, the days where the moon is full, 13th, 14th, and the last one is what? 15th. Then of course, he's going to end up fasting Muntasif Sha'ban, the 15th. But if he's doing this in Rajab, he did this prior to Rajab, prior to that, this is his regular fast, then it doesn't include the prohibition of singling out the issue of the 15th. Rather, he's not singling out. He did the 13th, 14th, 15th the month before. Now it's Sha'ban. And of course, he will be doing that in Ramadan is inclusive. But he never fasts 14th, 15th, 13th, 14th, 15th. He didn't do it before Sha'ban, didn't do it the prior months. He never does it. But because it's Sha'ban, he wants to get the 15th, then he does 13th, 14th, and 15th in order to be on the 15th day, fasting the 15th of Sha'ban. Then many of the ulama say even this he will not be rewarded because this is his way of singling out that 15th. And there's no evidence to single out, there's no evidence to do a particular worship on the 15th. Wallah, al-ibadah tahtaj ila nas. The thing that draws you close to Allah, you need evidence. When the guy said, I will never marry, the other one said, I would fast and never break my fast, the other one said, I would pray all night and not sleep. They want to do a good deed. They said, if this is the man, Allah forgive him for his sins, and he's doing this, that, and the other, then we should compete with him. We should do more. We have more right to do more. Because we are full of sin and we're not the messenger. So they want to do something good to draw closer to Allah. What the Prophet said in this hadith, whoever goes against my way, then he's left practicing my way. He's in opposition to my way. Whoever brings something that's not from what the Prophet left when he died, the religion was kamil bas. Prophet said it will be rejected. Man amila amilan. Then in the other hadith of Aisha, the amal. So you have the issue of intention and doing something and bringing something about, and then clearly the action stated in the other hadith. كل هذا قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فهو رد مردود ليس مقبول. It's rejected. هبان منثورا يوم القيامة خلاص ليس لك شيء. Won't have anything يوم القيامة. والله اتباع سنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم نعمة من الله تبارك وتعالى. وهو الذي يميز بين أمة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأمم السابقة. It is a ni'mah from Allah, the Father, and the Messenger. It is a thing that distinguishes between us and the prior nations. والله عز وجل يقول في كتاب الكريم إن الله لا يغفر أن يشرك به ويغفر ما دون ذلك ماذا لما يشاء. This ayah we hear all the time, that Allah will not forgive if you make major shirk and you die. This is the meaning. But He will forgive other than that to whom He wills. Shaykh al-Islam Muhammad Abdul Wahhab, in his book Fadal Islam or Fadl Islam, the virtue of Islam, he brings this ayah and says this is the proof that bid'ah ashad min al-kabair al-dhunub, that bid'ah is greater and more dangerous than major sins. Because major sin, Allah Azza wa Jal included when He said وَيَغْفِرْ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَا يَشَاءُ. He will forgive whatever to whom He wills. Zina, sarqa, وكذلك كذب وماذا إلى غير ذلك. Any of the major sins, Allah will forgive. لكن الشرك لا يكفر الله تبارك وتعالى الذين ماتوا عليه من الكبائر الشرك. But the major shirk, if you die on it, that's it. They say curtains closed, it's over. لكن الشرك نوع من البدعة. But shirk is a type of bid'ah, something that the people invented is not from the religion. So this is a proof that bid'ah is worse than major regular sins. Why? Because the one who's doing innovation, he himself is bringing something to the religion that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala already said, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. Naam, Allah completed it. His favor, His deed, and then on top of it, He's pleased with it. For you, as a religion, you want to bring something in addition, or you want to take something from it. Allah musta'an. هذا هو الذي أمر الله تبارك وتعالى اتباع رسول الله حتى يقول العلماء أن هذان شرطان لقبول أعمال. So much so the ulama say these are two of the conditions for the deeds to be accepted. Al-ikhlas, mutaba'ah, lima ja'a alayhi salatu wasalam, that you follow the messenger. A good intention without ittiba' yaduruk. Wallahi would harm you, because we've been commanded to follow the messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Kama qala azza wa jal, as we say lastly, he said to the prophet, قل هذه سبيلي أدعو إلى الله على ماذا؟ على بصيرة. وقال تبارك وتعالى وأن هذا صراطي مستقيما فاتبعوه ولا تتبعوا سبلا فتفرق بكم عن سبيله. Here Allah said Sirati, showing this is Allah's path of Islam. He told the Prophet to say to the people, this is Allah saying is His way, follow it. فاتبعوه. وقال تبارك وتعالى قل إن كنتم تحبون الله ماذا؟ فاتبعوني. If you claim you love Allah, and this is the basis of religion, غاية الحب, that you love Allah more than anything. This is what makes you obey Him. This is what makes you stay away from what He told you to stay away from. So this is my way straight. فاتبعوا ولا تتبعوا السبل فتفرقكم بك عن سبيله. Mujahid said subul in this verse means al-bid'ah wa shubuhat. Bid'ah and things that are doubtful, things that are not clear, things that could be, it could go this way or that way. And the Prophet has told you, leave those things, because what if it's haram, but you think that it's not haram and you do it? Then you're going to be in trouble, deen-wise, Yawm al-Qiyamah. So it's better to leave it. If there's a possibility it could be wrong, you could be punished, or it could be okay, leave it. This is shubhat, or something that looks like it's right, but in essence is wrong. Or something that has been used inappropriately to serve some type of purpose. كل هذا شبهات. والبدعة لا يقبل الله تبارك وتعالى أيهما مثقال ذرة. نعم في أعمالنا واعتقادنا. تبارك وتعالى doesn't accept shubhat nor bid'ah in any of our statements and actions, the least of them. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يخلصنا من كل بدعة والشبهات وكل مكروه وسوء والله المستعان. May Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala free us and cleanse us from any type of bid'ah, innovation, that which is not from the Prophet and Sahaba with the text, or from that which is from doubtful matters, unclear matters. Wallahu musta'an.
الأئمة الخمسة متفقين على